Okay, so like I promised, we're going to be reading Chapter 3 of the Sweetie Chronicles Fragments by one of my favorite fanfiction writers, Wanderer D, man! Shoutouts to you. He once again, he featured me on one of his blog posts, and it's given me views and subscribers, and I love it, and it's making me known. So, I can only do him justice by reading this awesome story. I talked a little bit too much last time, so I'm just going to get right into it. Chapter 2 is entitled Nightmares Don't Last Forever, and it's just about 3,000 words more. So this will probably be... this will be 4 parts, actually, most likely. But this time, I'm going to put them all together. So I'm going to upload them to YouTube, because I hate editing, because it takes a long time. I'm just going to upload them to YouTube and put them all together in one video, using the YouTube editor, of course. So, gonna try and keep it up with my voice impressions. Last time I impressed myself. I think I did pretty good, so I'm just gonna keep it up. Sweetie Belle could sound a little bit more high pitched, but it was on the fly. Okay, so let's just go Chapter 3. Remember in Chapter 2 last time we ended with Twilight. Apparently she's, I don't know if Nightmare Moon's her boss or what, but she's late. I don't know what the fuck's going on here, but we're gonna find out, so here we go. Ah! I can't scream very loud, so. Sweetie Belle kept screaming in panic, unable to move as Nightmare Moon herself entered the library. Never before had she been so scared. Not even being almost eaten by a werewolf invoked the deep-rooted fear that the alicorn before her inspired. She was suddenly reminded of the manic laughter of the nightmare as she had somehow taken Celestia away during a summer sun celebration. Well, you do seem to know how to impress ponies, Twilight stated as she came all the way down the stairs to stand in front of the nightmare. Ah! Sorry. Well, I do have quite the presence, the alicorn chuckled. You look good, Twilight. I thought you hated wearing that. I do, Twilight growled. Hated, I mean, she added when she saw Nightmare Moon begin to smile. I'm only wearing it because it's your birthday and you begged me to wear it. Are they dating or something? Ah! I'm about to scream. Seriously. The alicorn chuckled and punched the unicorn on the shoulder playfully. Oh, Twilight, you say the kindest things. Twilight glared at the alicorn. It's not your birthday, is it? Nightmare Moon raised her eyebrows in fake surprise. Whatever gave you that idea? Ah! Both ponies looked at Sweetie as she continued screaming. So, what's her problem? Nightmare Moon finally asked. Apparently, she's scared of you, Twilight replied. But, really? That much screaming? Isn't it too much? Ah! Oof! The alicorn and purple unicorn blinked as a pony-sized cushion knocked the filly over, interrupting her scream. Sweetie Belle! Rarity groaned as her horn stopped glowing. What do you think you're doing? Haven't I told you not to scream like that? Ugh, my head, Applejack groaned, blinking heavily as she slowly raised her head from Rarity's mane. Fluttershy twitched and slowly opened her eyes, wincing under the light. Oh my, she blushed. I think I drank too much. Again. The white Pegasus next to her blinked and opened her eyes, yawning cutely. Sis! She happily jumped to her hooves and trotted up to Nightmare Moon. What? Wait, a Rarity and Nightmare Moon sisters. Oh my god, this is horrible. She happily jumped to her hooves and trotted up to Nightmare Moon. Pinkie groaned and dragged the rest of her body into the kitchen. Spike, for his part, kept snoring as Rainbow Dash turned over and fell off the table with a dull thump. Sweetie pushed the cushion off of her and stared as the group groggily got up and proceeded to discuss the last night as if Nightmare Moon was not there. Unless... This is a nightmare night prank. Is this a nightmare night prank, Princess Luna? She asked the alicorn, whose eyes widened. Sweetie Belle, Rarity gasped and frowned. What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be at home? Oh, so this is your sister, Twilight said with a smile. I was wondering who she was and why she was here, she said, looking down at the filly. Hi! My name is Twilight Sparkle, she continued, then frowned, although you already seem to know that. Twilight, Sweetie said, without taking her eyes off the Alicorn, who was watching her intently. Why is Princess Loon... Ahem, the Alicorn interrupted. I'm afraid you have it wrong, my little pony. I am Nightmare Moon, ruler of Equestria. Oh. Sweetie considered her options. The pillow that Rarity had thrown at her slowly levitated off the floor and then smashed into Nightmare Moon's face. Quick! Every pony run! I'll protect you! Sweetie shouted, horn glowing again as a couple more pillows were pulled into the air. The pillow slid down from Nightmare Moon's face as she gave an amused look at the filly. The look turned to a frown when another pillow smacked her in the face. What are you waiting for? Sweetie called. Sis, run! Twilight, if we cast a shield spell, we can hold her back. Shield spell? Twilight blinked as she turned to look at the flabbergasted Rarity. Your little sister knows how to cast a shield spell? Why isn't she in Canterlot studying magic? Now, Sweetie, hold on a second, Nightmare Moon said before another pillow found its place embedded on her horn. Rarity blinked. I have no idea how she's doing it. Why are you still here? Sweetie asked, turning to look at the group as her control of the pillows faltered. If we're done with that, Nightmare Moon started to say, only to be interrupted by another pillow to the face. The Alicorn turned to glare at Pinkie Pie, who gave her a wide smile from within a pillow fort she had somehow constructed while they were distracted. Oh, it is on! Rarity dodged the flying pillows as she made her way to the sister. Sweetie, let's get going. Sonny! Nightmare Moon roared as several pillows around her floated threateningly. How dare you join Pinkie Pie's side? Once I win this fight, you will be grounded and spend the next 1,000 years in your room at the castle. You hear me? But... Sweetie Belle's horn glared as she sent another pillow flying. Nightmare Moon! We have to stop her! The older unicorn just sighed and ushered her sister out. They'll be fine. Once they were outside, Rarity looked up with a frown. I just hope they finish their pillow fight soon so that Nightmare Moon can raise the sun. Sweetie blinked. Huh? But come on, sis. This is serious. She looked at her sister doubtfully. Isn't it? Okay, that's enough, Sweetie. You're starting to sound like Twilight, Rarity chided. Then, when she saw the small frown in the filly's face, clarified. The purple unicorn. I know who Twilight is, Rarity sighed. Of course, dear. I'm still tired. Now, let's take you home. The two walked in silence for a few minutes until... Sweetie, I may be a bit under the weather, but... Did you just levitate and throw pillows around? No. That's just the hangover you have. As they walked away from the library, Sweetie's eyes were glued to the ground. So I didn't make it home. Back there, Nightmare Moon was stopped by Sis and the others. Even in the strange world where Trixie and Twilight were together, Nightmare Moon was gone. What am I going to do? Why isn't every pony more worried about this? Sweetie, you've been through this before. Can't you figure out this is just another fucking roadblock? Wanderer D keeps throwing Sweetie Belle in roadblocks, bastard. God. To Sweetie Belle's surprise, the sun eventually made its way up into the sky. I thought Nightmare Moon wanted eternal night. Why? Rarity glanced tiredly at her. No, I think the only thing she really wants is twilight. Oh, God, she sighed. Ever since we tried to use the elements of harmony on Nightmare Moon and failed, everything has been such a rush. With Twilight suddenly becoming Nightmare Moon's slave and celestial being. Rarity stopped, looking around. Indisposed? Everything is very confusing. It might be easier if Nightmare Moon had been such a tyrant, but no. We get a prankster. That made the filly stop. What? What does Nightmare Moon want with Twilight? It can't be good. Oh, I should find the piece of Twilight in this world. But can't I just do that and not help her defeat Nightmare Moon? What would my Twilight want me to do? The older unicorn yawned as she herded her sister into the boutique, looked longingly at the stairs that led to her room. I know you just met Twilight, Sweetie, so you don't know. She's Nightmare Moon's personal slave. Slave? Rarity held her hoof against her head. Could you please not yell? Listen, Sweetie, why don't you go play around town? Maybe find that Pegasus friend of yours. Just don't get into trouble, okay? But, go on, Sweetie. Big Sis needs some more sleep. As she was ushered out of the door, Sweetie rolled her eyes. Fine. The cool morning air welcomed her into its embrace once more as she pondered what to do. Nightmare Moon has turned Twilight into her slave! She makes her dress like a belly dancer! You won't understand yet.
Does that mean that she defeated Princess Celestia? What am I going to do? Should I tell them about the accident? But how will they treat me if I do? Will Sis think I'm her sister? Maybe she'll be scared of me. I don't have Trixie here to explain. I'm alone.
She sighed, but her thoughts were interrupted by a familiar filly walking past Carousel Boutique.
Apple Bloom!
She called, running up to meet her friend.
Well, maybe not completely alone.
The Earth Pony stopped to look at her, confused. Sweetie Belle, right? Oh, that's Applejack.
Sweetie Belle, right? Rarity's sister? What? Oh, right. I'm the Otherworld thing.
Sweetie face hoofed and looked at her would-be friend.
Right. You're Applejack's sister, right?
That's right. Play along, little marshmallow. You'll learn soon, young Padawan.
That's me,
Applejack said with a proud nod.
I'm looking for her right now. She's supposed to be back on the farm bugging apples, you see.
A plan started to form in Sweetie's mind.
Hey, I know where Applejack is right now. Want to hang out after we get her?
Apple Bloom blinked.
Sure. Great.
Sweetie grinned as she motioned for the Earth Pony to follow her.
I'll introduce you to another friend, and then... Oh, that's Applejack. And then... we'll rescue Twilight. Who? So, let me get this straight, Scootaloo said, looking at Sweetie Belle as if the unicorn had grown another horn. You want the three of us, her hoof went around in composing them, to take on the Nightmare Moon, in order to free this Twilight Sparkle you just met this morning. Sweetie nodded excitedly. I met her a couple days ago, Apple Bloom supplied. Right. Scootaloo gave the Earth Pony an odd look. So you really want to do this, even after Nightmare Moon defeated Princess Celestia? The Pegasus pressed. Yep, Sweetie smiled, ignoring the odd look Apple Bloom gave her in turn. That's my brother's line, you fucking whore. Well, I'll kill you. That's what she's thinking, I swear. Sweetie, I hate to break it to you. We can't do this. Scootaloo rolled her eyes. This is nuts. Besides, she glared at the unicorn, since when do you want to go on crazy adventures? Usually the one telling me not to do this sort of stuff. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Sorry about that. Steam was being stupid. Steam being the program. Okay, let's get back to it. Where was I? Okay. The unicorn's smile faded. But, she stammered. Think about our cutie marks. Apple Bloom blinked and looked at her flank. We don't have cutie marks. Exactly, Sweetie said, nodding sagely. Maybe we can get them by defeating Nightmare Moon. That's completely... Scootaloo paused, eyes narrowing as she scratched her chin with a hoof. You think that might work? That would be pretty cool, Apple Bloom added, eyes wide. So what do you say? Cutie Mark Crusader Nightmare Vanquishers. Yay! The other fillies joined in, jumping up in excitement for a second before Scootaloo and Apple Bloom stopped. Cutie Mark Crusaders? The Earth Pony asked. Sweetie coughed. Yeah. We're trying to get our cutie marks, right? You know, the Pegasus said thoughtfully, it's weird to say this, but it sounds natural. The three looked at each other for a moment before wide grins were shared. Cutie Mark Crusader Nightmare Vanquishers! Yay! The three ran in circles, cheering, until Scootaloo suddenly stopped, which ended in the other two piling on top of her. Ouch! Get off! Get off! She shouted. Why'd you stop? Sweetie asked as she rolled off to the side, making Apple Bloom slide over. I hate jumping. Huh. Well, I was thinking. We need to plan this out, Scootaloo said. And we need a base. Sweetie blinked. Well, her eyes widened. There's this filly Pegasus called Sunny who lives at the castle, I think. Maybe she can help us with find a hiding place there. But how can we get to the castle? Apple Bloom asked. Magic carpet. I saw Nightmare Moon come out of the magic door, Sweetie provided, looking from one pony to the next. I bet we can also use it to get to the castle. So it is a magic carpet. The three exchanged glances. We can do it, Sweetie Belle insisted. Finally, Apple Bloom and Scootaloo both nodded. Let's go! Spike groaned as he dragged himself to the library door as the persistent knocks continued. Hold your horses, I'm coming. When the door opened, he was greeted by three grinning fillies. Can I help you? Spike! Sweetie said with a bright smile. We need to get to the castle. Can you help us? The baby dragon looked at her, confused. But what? Castle? Yeah, Apple Bloom pointed towards the distance in the direction of Canterlot. You know where Nightmare Moon is? But why in the name of Celestia's Maine would you want to go there? The dragon asked. Well, I... Sweetie hated to lie to Spike, but if they were going to save Twilight told me that I should apply to Celestia's Get School for Gifted Unicorns? Spike gave her an unamused look, arching an eyebrow. She did, huh? Do you know any magic? Yes, Sweetie nodded. Under levitation and prestidigitation and shield, I was learning some illusion magic and... Fine, Spike sighed. I can tell a bookworm when I see one, especially after living with Twilight, he muttered before peering around Sweetie at the other two fillies. What about you two? Scootaloo shifted nervously. Moral support? Apple Bloom nodded quickly. Yeah, that's the one. Spike rolled his eyes as he stepped back, opening the door all the way. Come on in. The three fillies made their way into the library. Apple Bloom and Scootaloo looked almost as horrified at the sheer amount of books in there. This reminds me of school, she whispered. Spike, can we talk to Sunny? Sweetie asked. She knows the castle and where we have to go. Spike blinked. Sure, I'll go get her. You three stay here in the meantime, okay? The three fillies nodded as the dragon went up the stairs. Once he was out of sight, they all released a deep breath. It worked, Apple Bloom said in awe. I can't believe you convinced them to use magic. Scootaloo added, turning to look at Sweetie Belle with a huge grin. That was awesome! Levitation and presto whatever. Ha! Classic! But, Sweetie raised a hoof. You mean you don't really know magic? Apple Bloom blinked. I believed you when you said all them fancy words. You should be an actress, Sweetie. But... The unicorn filly tried again, only to be interrupted this time by Spike as he jumped down the stairs. Aha! I knew it! The little dragon accused, walking towards them, brows furrowed. You almost got me, but there's no way Twilight would tell you that without telling me about it. Besides, we arrived a few days ago and... I do know magic! Sweetie interrupted. Look! She levitated a couple of books off the shelf and then folded them up to the table. See? I can do magic. How the hell did you do that? Scootaloo asked, surprised. I've never seen you do anything like that. Spike glanced at Sweetie with a raised eyebrow. Moral support, huh? Unicorn filly cringed. Well... Scootaloo pressed her face against the unicorns. When did you learn to do that? Spike? Are they the ones looking for me? A voice interrupted them. They all looked towards the upstairs room as a white Pegasus with a sun cutie mark and a gem on her forehead walked down the stairs, stifling a yawn. Sunny! Spike smiled nervously. Yes, that's them. Oh, hi! Sweetie smiled nervously as she walked around Scootaloo, who frowned a bit but held her tongue. I recognize you, Sunny realized after looking at the unicorn filly for a few seconds. You're Rarity's sister. Sweetie Belle, right? Rarity is your sister? Spike gasped as he grew dreamy-eyed. No wonder you know magic. With a sister so perfect. Oh, shut up. You'd calm your boner. Yeah, well, Apple Bloom looked at Sunny. We was wondering if you could give us a tour of the castle. Huzzah! At last, new friends! She exclaimed giddily. Sis will be so proud. Three fillies looked at each other. Sure, Sweetie hastily reassured the Pegasus. We'd be happy to be your friends. Well, let's get going. Sunny giggled, a spring in her step as she trotted towards the now hidden portal. I'm sure Sis would love to meet you. So, she lives in the castle. Scootaloo's sing-song voice that vaguely resembled Sweetie Belle's. Well, I guess I have to read these sentences before I read the dialogue. She can help us get a place to plan and hide there. Why, she's the best pony that we could ask for help. She looks really nice, she hissed at Sweetie, who winced. Oh, and she's also freaking Nightmare Moon's sister. Freakin's a bad word, chicken. Don't speak such bad words. Unicorn filly winced as she and Apple Bloom watched apprehensively as the white Pegasus nuzzled the dark queen of Equestria. Next to the queen, Twilight Sparkle stood, this time without her belly dancer costume. I like how they're calling it a belly dancer costume, not a prostitution costume. I'm being sick. Looking at them with confusion and something akin to panic. I'm not sure coming here was a good idea, Apple Bloom noted. Sis, I made new friends, Sunny said excitedly. This is Apple Bloom, Scootaloo, and Sweetie Belle. Welcome to Canterlot, my... Nightmare Moon's eyes narrowed as she recognized Sweetie. You!
You almost killed me with a pillow, huh?
Unicorn Filly gulped, but then took a deep breath. Nightmare Moon, she challenged. I'm here to save Twilight's sparkle. Twilight started coughing, looking at the filly in disbelief. The Nightmare's eyes widened as she suddenly grabbed the purple unicorn with a foreleg and cuddled up to her. No, you cannot take her. She's mine. My purple nurple. She is not. Is too. Oh, not this argument. Is not. Is too. Is not. Is not. Is too. I'm confused. Sweetie blinked when she saw Nightmare Moon smiled. Hey! A trio of fillies watched as the Nightmare nuzzled Twilight affectionately, a hoof tracing its way up and down the purple unicorn's horn. She's mine, and she likes it. Oh, God, this is disgusting. Why, Wanderer D? Why? How is this funny? This is sick. She grinned at the flushing purple unicorn. Don't you slave. Twilight trembled, her blush deepening as her embarrassment grew. Don't surrender, Twilight, Sweetie shouted. I'll save you. Nightmare Moon, Twilight gasped as she pushed back the queen. They're just fillies. They shouldn't be seeing this.
Yeah, well, I'm 16 and I'm seeing it. But I like it, so I don't care.
The queen pouted. But Twilight, you know you like it. Sis, is it okay if they stay here for a little while? Sunny asked, blissfully unaware of the teasing and embarrassment. They really wanted to see the castle. Nightmare Moon stopped trying to catch Twilight and looked down at the three fillies. So you would condemn your lives to the misery of living in these empty halls alone, save for each other, my sister Sunny, and the occasional visit from your family? They meant live here, not be imprisoned. Applebloom opened her mouth to inform the black unicorn that she was in fact not interested in doing that at all, but found that she could not speak at all. She blinked, starting to panic. The Nightmare smiled. Excellent! You will then stay at the castle. But, Applebloom blinked. Hey, I can speak again! Oh, I heard Sweetie Belle say that she wanted to study at my school for gifted unicorns, Sunny provided helpfully. Both the Alicorn and Twilight turned to look at Sweetie with raised eyebrows. Really? Nightmare Moon grinned. Sweetie stammered, looking around worriedly. Why, yes, the white Pegasus beamed down at the unicorn. She even said that Twilight suggested she try out. I did? Twilight blinked. I must have been drunk. I must have been drunk. Oh. Hey, I'm pretty good, Sweetie complained. I remember you attacking me with a pillow this morning, Nightmare Moon remarked. That means that you do have some magical skills. But enough for the school of gifted unicorns. I was trained by the pest. Sweetie stomped the floor with her hoof. Applebloom the Scootaloo suddenly grabbed her and shoved an apple into her mouth. Where they got the apple, no one ever knows. If you'll excuse us for just a moment, Your Highness, Apple Farmer Philly quickly said as the pair dragged Sweetie to a corner of the room. Are you crazy? Scootaloo asked, glaring at the unicorn. What the hell are you thinking? You're get into a fight with Nightmare Moon, Applebloom said. That ain't part of the plan. Sweetie cringed. But... No but, Sweetie, the Pegasus said. I don't know what's gotten into you, but you can't just go into the castle and start a fight with Nightmare Moon. You mean she's not usually like this? Nightmare Moon asked. No, Scootaloo said, annoyed. All of a sudden she wants to be the stallion in shining armor that wants to save the captured unicorn. Her words slowly died as she looked to her right and through the slitted eyes of Nightmare Moon herself. Ah! The Pegasus jumped on Applebloom's forehooves, who stumbled, screaming in fright, and jumped, still carrying Scootaloo on top of Sweetie Belle. As the trio collapsed, Nightmare Moon laughed. Priceless! I almost didn't do it. I mean, I could hear you all the way to the throne, but I thought, will they notice me? Oh, of course they would. But then I came over here and you didn't. She pounded her hoof on the floor, trying to quell her mirth. The looks on your faces! Why, you... Scootaloo glared at the Nightmare. Now it's personal. Good, Nightmare Moon said. Since you'll be staying here, I expect you to provide enough entertainment. Yeah, you jesters. Wait! Twilight interrupted. We can't simply keep them here. She looked straight at Nightmare Moon. As much entertaining as they might be, their families will miss them. But Twilight, Nightmare Moon whined. I'm the evil queen of Equestria. Can I keep one of them, please? No! Pretty please with me on top, and sugar and honey. Anything else sweet that you might like? Isn't she the slave?